If you look at any recent life sciences keynotes, global vendor presentations, or corporate board decks from Toronto to Vancouver, you will find the exact same phrase repeated like a mantra. We need to be an AI first organization. It sounds incredibly forward thinking on a slide. It makes executives and investors feel like they're living in the future. But if you talk to the bench scientists and the data integrity officers working in Canadian labs, it quickly becomes clear that we're missing something fundamental. Right now, a lot of life sciences organizations are trying to strap a rocket engine onto a vehicle that hasn't even been built yet. We're being told that artificial intelligence is going to revolutionize drug discovery, optimize stability testing, and automate compliance overnight. But here's the reality check: AI does not fix disconnected software. It will not organize a chaotic shared drive full of random Excel sheets, and it cannot invent scientific context out of thin air. The organizations that are actually succeeding with machine learning aren't the ones rushing to burn their capital on the latest new platform, on the shiniest new platform on the market. They're doing the tedious, unglamorous, foundational work required to make this technology functional. The future of Canadian labs or Canadian research isn't an AI first lab, it is an AI ready laboratory. Now, operating a lab in Canada comes with some very specific challenges that global software vendors often tend to gloss over. First, look at Health Canada compliance. Under guidelines like GUI 0001 and the Alcoa Plus principles, every single piece of data has to be recorded in real time, fully traceable, and completely accurate. If your plan is to just let an AI algorithm run wild on messy, unvalidated data, you aren't just creating a technical headache, you're setting yourself up for a major audit failure. At the end of the day, AI cannot fix a broken audit trail. Second, let's talk about funding in Canada. Whether your budget comes from IRAP, NSERC grants, or CIFAR, capital efficiency is everything. And I mean everything. Canadian labs simply cannot afford to waste precious grant money or seed rounds on AI projects that fail. And when an AI project fails because of the underlying data that wasn't ready, you aren't just wasting licensing fees. You're burning through your runway and losing credibility with stakeholders who expect real-time scientific progress. To stop this confusion and actually get real value out of AI, a Canadian lab needs to secure three basic things. Number one, connected data. In most labs, data looks like a group of total strangers at a bad party. It's completely scattered. It lives in separate instruments, personal spreadsheets, old local databases, and USB drives. The LIMS knows the sample name, the instrument software knows the raw numbers, and the scientist's notebook records the fact that the room got humid halfway through the test. AI cannot work in fragments. It needs a single, unbroken thread from start to finish. Without this link, you don't have a modern ecosystem. You just have an expensive collection of digital silos. Second is context rich data. Numbers without context are completely useless to an algorithm. Think about a temperature reading of, let's say, 37.2. To a machine, that means absolutely nothing. To make it valuable, the machine needs the metadata. It needs to know, are the units in Celsius or Fahrenheit? Where was it measured? By which sensor? Under what testing protocol? That extra context is what turns flat numbers into searchable knowledge. If you want AI to find complex patterns across thousands of stability studies, your data strategy must be harmonized across every single piece of hardware you own. Third, and finally, trusted workflows. Algorithms simply amplify what already exists. If your manual bench processes are messy, AI just scales the mess. If your data entry is inconsistent across different shifts or different facilities, AI is just going to accelerate bad decisions with absolute certainty. Before you ask an algorithm to make critical recommendations about your drug pipeline, you must be confident that your underlying lab processes are stable, standardized, and repeatable. Think about it. There is one last critical hurdle for Canadian labs: data privacy and where your data actually lives. When you use cloud based AI tools, where is your intellectual property and patient data actually going? A lot of these advanced platforms route data through servers located outside of Canada. And if you're handling sensitive clinical trials or genomic data, that instantly triggers strict privacy laws like PIPEDA. Being AI ready means keeping your data secure and local. You simply cannot build a long term AI strategy if your data pipelines are caught up in cross border legal gray areas. So, what is the biggest shift we need to make? We need to stop forcing AI into broken, fragmented workflows. AI is not a miracle tool you can just buy off a shelf to save a messy lab. It is simply the final layer of a mature, disciplined digital lab. The Canadian labs that dominate the next decade won't be the ones who rush to buy the flashiest software. No. They will be the ones who took the time to map their workflows, standardize their metadata, and connect their systems from the bench up. The goal isn't just to check a corporate box to impress your investors or your grant committees. The goal is to build an ecosystem where your data is clean enough and connected enough that machine learning actually delivers real, reproducible scientific value. Stop chasing the AI first hype. Start building a Canadian AI ready reality. Thank you.